Hi, and welcome to the Getting Started with Annual Property Reviews video. My name is Jack Huntress, the founder of HomeBinder. In this video, we'll provide an overview of how to begin performing APRs, including settings, pricing, home pros, marketing, technology, and guidance on doing them. It is important to also watch the marketing APRs video in conjunction with this, as this video is really just about doing them using the system we've built. The first thing we want to look at is the settings and pricing. So inside of your account, under Settings, you'll see an option for Annual Property Review. When you click on that, you'll see a few items. By clicking Edit, you'll be able to check the box that notes we do perform annual reviews. That will make this link live. You'll be able to set the price, and you'll be able to copy and paste this link and use it wherever you want. We'll talk more in a little bit about setting the pricing. Once this is live, you'll have a custom page that will be pulling in your logo, your information, your phone number. It will show the price of your APR, and it will allow for the full ordering of this product online. All of this stuff adjusts per firm. Regarding some pricing, we get this question a lot. The way I typically answer it is, first, consider the demographics of your customer base. And one rule of thumb is a third to a half of the price of your inspection. Typically, we see a range of $160 to $220, and we recommend pricing that ends in a 0 or a 5, not in a 9, as we think this is just a little bit more successful, given it is a professional service, not a retail product. Now, to experience the system and to test it, you'll want to create an APR job. Now, to do this, use your personal link. That will open up your personal page and scroll down, and you'll see the order form. Because there's no charge for this one, you can either type the promo code FREE and click apply, or click the box to pay by check and then click complete order. This will put an APR in your queue. Once an APR is created, it comes in as an active job, and we've created a number of status levels. Jobs that are on canceled or on hold, they'll be at the bottom of your list on your APR dashboard. Active jobs are those that are generally brand new, and that needs to be scheduled by contacting the client. A scheduled job has a known date and time for the APR, as well as an identified reviewer to do the work. Note, until you put a report in draft, you're unable to work on. This is a really important item that some people get hung up on. So remember, the first step is to schedule it, and then the next thing is to put it into draft. And we'll show you where you do that in an options menu in just a minute. Once the reviewer is done in the field, they mark the report as draft complete, and then either the person in the field or someone back at the office can finalize the report and make it completed. At this point, and only at this point, will the client be notified that the job is done. They'll get an email and they'll get a link to their APR. Doing an APR, here's a few important tips. Remember, this report is live at all times. You are working on it online, and you have to be connected to the internet. There are some workarounds we'll share in a second. If you don't think you'll have an internet connection, then be sure to bring an offline form, and we have that in a PDF that you can access in our resources area. Be sure to change your camera settings. It's just a fact that most phones and tablets today just take pictures that are way bigger than we need them to be for the purposes of this. Photos would be 2, 3, 4, 5 megabytes each. We really want those photos under a meg, ideally around 700K. So change the settings of your camera, because this will greatly speed your time in the field when you're uploading images into the report. If you're comfortable with it, use the voice to text feature on your smartphone or tablet, as it can really speed up the process. And when you're taking photos and making notes, consider that the Home Pro may be getting a request for a quote on this option, and they may want to be able to make a bid without having to visit the property. So at least take enough photos and put in enough notes without taking up too much time, so that that process is easy for them. We summarize some of this inside of the Annual Property Review Quick Reference Guide, And as mentioned before, we also have an annual property review offline form that you can take for areas where you don't have internet connection. We are working on a mobile app, but in the interim, this is going to be the next best option. The crux of the report, effectively the main part of the report, is the findings table. And so now we're going to talk about how this actually gets created with an item, its priority and cost, any details about it, and a home pro that is identified to do the work. If you're using a smartphone, the screen will look like this when you first load it up. Note there'll be nothing in the findings table, but the planning table will have already seeded a number of items that you can then choose to edit or delete. On a tablet device, it will look more like it would on a laptop or desktop computer. Once you click Add an Item, you'll have the ability to pick things from several options menus, especially the priority and the estimate and then the home pro. These are drop-down menus. The recommended home pro starts as a type ahead. So start typing the name of the person. Once you're up to 3 letters of that person's email or name, it will show up and you can select them. That will then start to construct this table. You'll have the option to add photos after you add the item, or to start with the photo and then add the item later. The home planning table, which will look like this, is done much the same way. It's a matter of using the drop-down menus that exist and using the open field text boxes. Now, one quick word about cost estimation on both the findings table and this. These are just general estimates, and if you don't feel comfortable offering one, you can always put unknown. Here's a completed home planning table as an example. A big part of this report are the home pros. And the way the APR works is that inside of your templates section, under your default template, is where the system will pull your recommended home pros. So you can, to add home pros to show up in your APR, navigate to the templates menu, click on your default template, and scroll down until you see a screen that looks like this for recommended home pros. You can then add them one at a time and modify them and keep them up over time, as this list will always be refreshed to be up to date in the APR as it exists inside of your default template. Here's a few items about Home Pro guidance. One of the biggest problems in the industry today is response time. People get the names of 3 or 4 electricians. They call all the electricians as recommended by their friends, their neighbors, and none of them get back to them. It really is an imperative that they get a response, even if the response is, I wish I could do work for you, but I have another name of somebody. I just can't do it now. The not getting a call back can really do damage to your brand. We recommend not spreading the work around, but rather putting one pro per category. This will deepen the relationship. It is also important to have a queue. In other words, have a person in line if that person is either too busy or doesn't start to perform good work or takes a long time to get back to the homeowners. Get to know them well. Really understand them in such a way that it's a two-way relationship. You're their eyes and ears in the field. You're sharing information. They can tell you what they'd like to see to both help the quoting process and make the experience better for the homeowner. What we generally recommend is that if you haven't reprioritized or removed a pro from your list in over 6 months, and you have more than 20 pros in your list, chances are there's somebody that probably shouldn't be there. It's just the nature of the way things happen. And keep in mind that anybody that's not performing hurts everybody on the list. Get to know all their employees to at least a degree. They may be a very nice guy, but they just don't know how to hire and fire people, and one bad employee can create a bad reputation for everybody. For every given geography, calibrate cost versus quality versus speed. For some areas, cost is not the driving factor. It's really quality work done quickly. In other areas, people care more about cost and quality, but if it takes a bit of time, that's fine. Just think about your client base. And lastly, make sure your pros aren't gouging your clients. They may want to, and they certainly can charge, I think, a bit of a premium. maybe 10, 15, perhaps as high as 25% higher rates, but they certainly should not be gouging the customer. Although this video is not about marketing the APR, we wanted to touch on it just briefly. One of the most important things we think you can do is begin today in your business, letting your clients know you'll be reaching out in 12 months to see if they would like to get an APR. Setting the stage will go a long way to actually being successful down the road. You can use your unique URL to distribute on any digital channel, that be email, social media, or other. We have animated videos. You can certainly lean on your previous clients. We have email scripts and phone scripts and mailers if you'd like to see if they would be interested. We find it most effective if you message it as the next step in your home ownership after the inspection. Really, a best practice of home ownership is this. Obviously, a lot of people don't do this today, but there's countless benefits to why they should. And finally, use the analogy of a car to a mechanic, a teeth to your dentist, and your annual physical for you, as it can help make the process of why do an APR and the largest investment simply logical, given we do this for other parts of our lives. We have two explainer videos at present. One is a short 30-second one, and one is a longer 90-second one. Plus, we have lots of marketing materials that we can give you to help. Just a reminder, either you or your client can create orders on the entry form using your unique landing page. If you take an order over the phone, you can click on your link, input all the data on here, and complete the order and create the APR. Or your client can obviously do this on their own. Jobs will then show up in your queue for scheduling. You'll notice this job is active but not yet scheduled. Once it's scheduled, by clicking APR options, click schedule, I'll then be able to move it into draft mode. To schedule it, select a reviewer by typing the first three letters of the person in your firm's name that's going to be doing the work, and pick a date and click schedule. A few notes about the APR frame of mind. One of our favorite ways to describe it is, think about the APR as giving your grandmother a list of to-do items that she should get done in order to keep her home operating properly. You're the home expert, but you live thousands of miles away from her, and you're only there on occasion. So what you're trying to do is give her a punch list so she has a list of things that she can do while you're not around. Keep in mind, this is not a home inspection. No real estate agent is involved, and it's not part of a real estate transaction. The person is in the home, living in it. We can lean on them to ask them information about the home. We use terms like review and reviewer, not anything related to inspector. Really, you're acting more like a coach or a consultant on the job. Absolutely identify cosmetic items, whether they be a deck that needs to be power washed or windows that need to be cleaned. Think about items that would be of benefit to the homeowner if they were addressed. We absolutely really encourage home pros, so you want to link those to any of your tasks. Consider not just the present, but the future. And remember again, the homeowner lives in the home that's being inspected. Asking them questions can not only speed the process, but help really target and zone in your efforts as to where they may get the most value. Some principles for the scope. We want to keep it under 60 minutes of ground time, asking the homeowner questions as we can. It's not about diagnosis, only noting an observation. And certainly avoiding repetitive tasks, not opening every window, flipping every switch, unless it's directed by the homeowner because they've noted a problem, including cosmetic items. This isn't just about deficiencies. We can ask about improvements they want to make. In other words, would they like to put in a smart thermostat, or is there any project they plan on doing in the next 12 months? Ask them if they've done any work since their previous home inspection. That's a good place to check around and offer them some value as to a double check on things that they might have had done. And one thing we do suggest is the one thing concept. Find some task that might take 2 to 3 minutes for you to do. It could be changing a battery. It could be greasing a garage door. It could be tightening a spring on a door so it closes better. Something that for someone like yourself, with the tools and the knowledge, it would only take a few minutes. It would really make improvement for that homeowner. That can make a big impression on them and will do a lot to have them call you back in a year. So a quick wrap up. To be successful with annual work, it's important to begin the messaging at the time of the inspection so that future outreach is understood. Laying the groundwork today will be really important down the road. Remember, these are meant to be surveys and reviews, not investigative efforts. When you find something, you flag it and move on. Rely on the homeowner to tell you about the home. Ask them questions up front, what they're concerned about, what they're experiencing. That can really help direct your effort. Home pros are an important part of the value proposition, and having a good list is essential to the value of your report. Don't forget to change your camera settings. It can absolutely speed your in-the-field efforts, and it's one of the major stumbling blocks that we see with folks. And lastly, this isn't a home inspection. There is no agent involved. Cosmetic things count. Ask the homeowner what they want to get done. Do more than just identify the deficiencies. Think about ways in which you can actually help them improve their home. Remember, you're wearing the hat of a consultant, home consultant, or home coach, not necessarily that of a home inspector. For those of you that are looking to get started and you're already a HomeBinder user, log in, go to Settings, click on Annual Property Reviews, click Activate, get your link, set your price, and then begin to do some of the steps that we've seen in this video. If you're not yet a HomeBinder user, go to www.homebinder.com/inspectors, and you can start your free trial to get going. You can call us, or you can email Alec at homebinder.com. Thanks for listening and watching, and please do share your feedback.